got some monster munch. It does sound very dictator. Good night, shitty world, said Brandon Valentino. Flaming hot. Flaming hot. Monster munch. The bomb. Right. You in here, Craig? There you are. I'll be that slogan sounds a bit scary, Craig.
It's not worse than LSPD's obey and survive.
Yeah, but do they actually use that?
Yeah, it's all over the building.
Okay. Yeah, but we don't have to stoop to that level, you know.
That's not stooping to a level. It's not even like literally a threat. It's literally just we are overall oversight overall. A reminder. What we do.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess. So what happened when you said you spoke to Abby?
Yeah, I spoke to Abby. She was just freaked out mostly because she didn't know what happened. So
Well,
she's gonna stay at my place tonight, and we'll go figure out a place for her to get treatment tomorrow or something.
good chat. Yeah. Help her out, we'll help her out.
Yeah, but she's still suspended. So
Yep. What else? All right, we need to figure out this meeting with Hackerman at some point just to get on the same page. And just let them know, you know, what we're planning on doing and stuff. But I think we should probably wait until there's a sheriff, new sheriff, which I think. I don't think he's staying with us. Yeah, I want to have the same meeting twice, right? So I might just give one of LSPD Hackerman a call and just be like, heads up, you know, we want to do this, but we want to do it with everybody there. So we'll kind of wait until things settle in PCSO, Blaine County. I mean, for all we know, there's going to be new LSPD Hackerman too.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but.
So
I mean,
what did Turner talk to you about?
we were just chatting, you know, about his new role and, you know, the marshals.
Okay, so he did talk about the role.
Yeah, he's advising the mayor.
Oh, that role. So he didn't go further into it.
Not really. I don't know. Maybe he did, but I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know.
So on the day of the election result, or inauguration day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nino asked me for a meeting and have a chat because he had some questions about how like titles and stuff worked. And,
Titles.
Yeah, in PD.
Okay.
Like sergeant, chief, stuff like that. And he asked if there is a title that's typically referred to like outside of the chain of command.
Oh no.
Kind of like as if the marshals were a part of
I thought he was going to
LSPD,
say
right?
fucking
Someone that could have
commissioner.
oversight that was under the umbrella of the department, but not in the chain of command. Like they don't have supervisor over anyone, but
Yeah.
nobody has supervisorship over them. And their
Sure.
role was for like looking internally, providing support, like guidance and oversight. That I kind of had to explain to him. I was like, you know, law enforcement agencies in general use paramilitary terms because they're paralleling
Yeah.
military organizations, right? And so it's
Yeah.
not all exact. Um, but one of the titles I've seen for that kind of position before is an inspector, who is
Oh
generally
yeah.
like outside of the chain of command, but
That makes
they're
sense. So.
just observing and they inspect the inside. They inspect the law enforcement. Well, he told me that Turner was who he wanted to put into LSPD in that role
Oh, I see.
because he's not really happy with the chief and assistant chief, but he doesn't want to get rid of them. I was like, oh, so you basically want to have a cop out and you don't want to be the bad guy by firing somebody. So you're like, well, I'm going to put this guy I really want in charge, who's like a
Yeah.
parallel. And he was like, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, all right.
I don't know if that's gone into play yet, but that was Nino's plan for that.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think it could, I think it could work. I think it could. I think it could work. I think it could also cause conflict between the High Command and Toner and Nino. So
Well,
I
yeah,
think
look at how they react to us. It's literally an internal
right,
position of having a marshal implanted in your department
pretty
directly.
much, pretty much.
And we saw how they react to us. Now imagine they have somebody literally dedicated to only looking at them.
You see, the issue is though, is the chief and the chief could just say no. That's the thing. Is
She could,
she
and
could just say
then Neo
no.
can go, all right, you're out.
Yeah, yeah, that could happen.
And then you go, all right, Moss, you're out. Peters, you're up. What do you say to this? No? Oh, well, you're out.
He just keeps
Next.
cycling through everybody.
Ruby, you're up.
It's almost
you up
like
for
if
this?
he
No?
wants
All right, next.
Toner to be like in charge, just make him in charge.
Mm,
But I don't know whether that's exactly what he wants for him from him. I think maybe he's just trying to. He's not happy with like Moss, and he's trying to give her a chance by putting someone with experience in,
mhm.
and to try and grow it to something that Nino's happy with.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she's for considering the amount of experience she had in leadership, which was like none.
yeah,
She's done a decent job of it, considering her experience. Right? No one's been there to
yeah.
teach her. That's the biggest issue, though. No one has been there to teach her. She went straight from the bottom to the top with
Yeah,
no training, no mentor, anything like that. Considering that, she's done fair. And I think this is an
yeah,
opportunity to give her a mentor and someone to actually train her. It's far too late for it, but at least it's happening
true,
eventually.
true, yeah. Um,
Now it's just going to be, is she going to be too stubborn to accept that?
yeah. I don't know. I think she's already had conversations with Toner and Nino about changes. Um, and she seems to be going along with things. For example, a worrying thing Toner kind of brought up was the whole jurisdictional thing again about if a scene starts in Ellis County, LSPD takes it and keeps it. Same thing with Blaine County. And it seems like that was proposed to the chief, and she seems on board again.
In
With
some
the
ways, I don't blame her. I know it's not constitutionally sound, but I get the mentality, right? And there's been I've brought up concerns about that whole thing myself on
Mhm.
both sides. But you have to, like, whenever you that's one of the biggest issues is a lot of times we just look at the bare bones facts and we don't look at the foundational issues that cause that problem.
Mhm.
Like for example, what started originally was people BCSO bringing people up north to process them, right?
Yeah.
I actually had an issue about that. I brought it up originally in the Angel administration as embezzlement.
Because they're
When
trying to
you
get the
look at
money. Yeah.
yeah, because at the foundational level, a fine is restitution to the state for damages caused, and the damages is a violation of the criminal acts. Right? That's the whole
Yeah.
point. Is you're paying restitution to the people for the damages you caused by committing the criminal acts. And when you commit a criminal act, the damage you've caused is where the criminal act occurred. Like if you go down and you rob somebody in Los Santos County, you've caused damages to Los Santos County. So therefore, your restitution should go to Los Santos County. And by transporting somebody from there, if a BCSO comes down and helps, by transporting that individual up to Blaine County and taking all of it, they're effectively taking money that belongs to Los Santos County as restitution for the damages. And I was blown off as, no, we're not going to go down that road. I was like, that's honestly, it's a civil suit to be made. Eventually, nobody's ever gotten challenged. I mean, I'm not really going to bring it up to anybody to
Mm-hmm.
make them push it, but I've
Yeah.
always been told, don't push it, Barrett. But that started a lot of it. And there's the concerns about. I mean, you know some of the law. I know we don't have this case law here, but you know some of the laws about like traffic stops, for example. You can't detain
I was
someone
gonna
for
bring
longer.
up, yeah, like you can't detain something longer than necessary, and then like the canine response as well, and that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just like when canines respond or in a
Yeah.
general traffic stop. And so by transporting somebody away from a closer department where you normally would be able to process them, you are detaining them for longer than reasonable to
Yeah.
conduct your business. So that's where a lot of that came from at its core foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there were the other conflicts about BCSO coming down and not patrolling the north, and then BCSO getting upset, and they were upset because they didn't have income, and because they were coming down here, and if they were processing down here, they weren't getting money. And you have to look at it even more base level than that. Why are they coming down here, or why are they running low on money? Well, because they hired too many people. Why did they hire too many people? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of BCSO transferred to Blaine County when it formed up because they didn't like Los Angeles Police Department.
Yeah.
Uh, Only probably half the deputies that joined BCSO actually gave a shit about Blaine County. They cared more about getting away from Los Santos PD than they
100%.
did about helping Blaine County.
Yeah.
And I even brought this up in the Angel era too. I was like, look, they were like, how are Blaine County supposed to make their money? They have so many police and they don't have enough income to take care of it. And I was like, that's a politics. That's how politics works. You balance your budget. If you're only 10% of the county's income or the state's income because of the crime, you're only 10% of the crime, then you should have 10% of the force. Like all those people, if they all want to come down here in Los Angeles County because Los Angeles has all the crime, they should be in Los Santos Police Department. Blaine County
Yeah.
shouldn't be over full. But that's some of the issues, right? Is that people left not wanting to be an LSPD because they didn't like LSPD. They wanted to get away from LSPD but still be a cop. And that's not how it should have been. But that's just what we've accepted as fact. And then whenever you look at that just makes the whole system crumble. When you're not balancing the budget, you're not taking into consideration all those things. But I'll tell you, people even still today say there's not enough crime in Blaine County. It's fucking bullshit. They just don't want to go handle it.
I
Watch
think,
Dispatch. There is plenty of crime in Blaine County.
yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of non-CAD calls up in Blaine County too. There's a lot of crime that happens. Like, you look at I mean, I know it's not illegal anymore, but the moonshine stuff was always up in the county.
It's still illegal. It's illegal, Dark.
Oh, because you're on about private property stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you can only do it on private property. You still go out in the hills and find moonshine, and it's still illegal.
There's a bunch of fucking attacks that people do up in Blaine County because it's quiet, Take someone up there, you're less likely to get caught.
There are more murders in
Yeah.
Blaine County than in Los Santos by more than 1,000%.
Yeah, if I was a cop and I was like, I want to investigate shit, I'd probably do Blaine County because there's so much shit that happens up there when it comes to like non-CAD, like non-pings, you know.
Yes, I know, and I factually know this because I used to be that officer who only patrolled in Blaine County,
Yeah.
north of Alamo Sea. That was my district. And I tell you, 95% of the calls I had weren't CAD calls that came in from locals. It was self-initiated calls. There's plenty to do out there. They're just it's this broken down mentality of how the police department is if it ain't blue, fuck you.
I think it might also be, and I don't know for sure, is that the sheriff, at least high command of BCSO, maybe were more on the page of let's welcome all these kind of asylum seekers, and then even though they did that, they didn't then encourage them to be like, okay, if you're gonna be here, you know, do your best at least to patrol the county. I don't know whether that was communicated. You know what I mean?
It wasn't. They just basically formed it's unfortunately just how it worked, right? Blaine
Yeah.
County Sheriff's Office was formed out of asylum seekers from Los Santos County. And that culture has been stuck there ever since. I mean, you can go in shift 2 and watch LSPD responds more to Blaine County calls than Blaine County does.
I haven't seen that, but I'll trust you on it.
Yeah, you don't go to shift too much. I try
No.
not to go to shift too much, but I'll tell you, very rarely are people north are outside of Los Santos County. But usually when they do, it's typically LSPD out there doing a loop, or it's McNulty. McNulty is probably one of the few ones that actually patrols the county.
I was talking about McNulty. He's found so much shit for me in this investigation because he's been patrolling up north.
Yeah. Yeah, Shiro's out there all the time.
Yeah.
McNulty's out there all the time. But there's just so many foundational level issues that have occurred that have spiraled into these situations that we keep ignoring history, keep ignoring like what the foundational issues are. We don't take the time to recognize what these problems are and try to rectify them, and we just keep repeating them over and over and over again.
Yeah, I would say this with Tona though is that like I think a lot of PCSO would probably want to patrol the county, yeah, but there is so much shit that happens down in the city that they have to respond to. That like I've spoken to a bunch of, especially shift 3 and 1, where you know they want to do a lot of stuff, but they never get the chance. Like Rhodes, for example, saying that he's only ever written in the past year one arrest warrant because he doesn't have the time because there's so much shit going on that he has to go from call to call to call to call that he doesn't even have, you know, he doesn't have the 30 minutes to sit down and write an arrest warrant because then the city would crumble because there's that little units about.
Well, you know, and I know this is going to sound like kind of a shitty thing to say, but you know what kind of would help that a lot?
Chat.
In shift 2 especially? If the ratio of BCSO to LSPD was appropriate. Instead of keeping this 50-50 split where it's pretty much forcing all of the LSPD shorthanded. Yeah, they're shorthanded because they're only half the state's police force when they're 80% of the state's major incident.
I think
I
get it, but like if you look at it from like if you ignore the money side of things, right? If you ignore the where people get paid and stuff like that, people responding to calls, like I guess if you ignore the politics too, like all that's happening is there's people in different uniforms, right? Responding to calls. As long as the calls are being responded to, I guess the question would be what's the issue? Like what's the issue with Blaine County responding to LS County calls?
There's nothing really wrong with it except the idea that they consider themselves separate.
I see. I kind of get what you mean. Yeah, like why not just have a UPD versus like different? Because I think they're separate on some things and trying to be the same on others.
Let me give you an example, right? And this is a recent example of something very similar. Uh, DOC getting deputized to go out in the field and search for Matthew Colby.
Yeah.
What was PD's immediate reaction? If they want to be cops so bad, why don't they just become cops instead of wanting to be outside of the spectrum of this?
Was that really the reaction?
Man, do you blame them? Especially the unprofessionalness that they've shown. I had an issue with them today because Abigail let them into the meeting during the bit stage, and apparently within less than a minute, they were already causing problems and being unprofessional and stirring shit with the PD.
Was it DLC?
Yeah, DOC. Less than a minute it took them to immediately start stirring shit and pissing off the PD to the point where Lucas was upset.
Damn. Okay. I mean, I think that's probably come down. It's trickled down from Scotty.
Might be, but it's the same mentality, right? Of if you want to be here so bad, why don't you just fucking join us instead of trying to stay like you want to be here without the oversight, without the supervisory.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mentality. Is if you want to do the job so bad, just fucking join us
Yeah,
and
but
join the rank and file instead of trying to be outside of our purview while also doing the same stuff. That it's that kind of mentality. Is it the right mentality? No, but that's how people view it overall. And they may not even realize it, but that's that nagging feeling they're going to have in the back of their mind every time they hear this stuff or they see it.
I, yeah, I get it, but then I'm also sympathetic to not wanting to be under LSPD high command, or even some command members too. Like, I'm sympathetic to the people who would rather be in BCSO versus LSPD, while also wanting to still do the same job. And then on the same side of things is, like, how often have LSPD try to reach out to people who are patrolling the city a lot, who are Blaine County, and be like, "Hey, why don't you come over here? You know, we'll give you a nice bonus, and you know you can join the LSPD instead." Like, how often does that happen?
It probably doesn't happen at all because we've created this culture that's seen as a negative thing, poaching,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
people shun
stupid.
that.
You should try and make your department the best department it is. If that includes trying to, you know, give people a bonus and get them on your side. Yeah, I mean, I can see the issues, but for conflict between departments, but I don't know. At the end of the day, what I said to Tona was, if that's, you know, if that the idea of like enforcing the jurisdictional legislation and stuff like that, that's got to be a decision made between the two high command members, you know, sheriff and the chief. And if that does happen, then obviously when it comes to the marshals, all we've got to worry about is whether or not the, you know, law enforcement is still operating at a capacity that it needs to. And if it's not, then we can step in.
You know, the crazy thing about it is it's literally they can't constitutionally order like the other county to stay out of their county. It's by legislation, by their powers, they only have primary jurisdiction
Yeah,
in that
primary
county.
jurisdiction. Yeah.
They still have secondary jurisdiction in that county.
Wasn't there a legislation that was done? Oh no.
It's like law enforcement powers of law enforcement or something like that.
Powers and definitions of LEOs. Yeah, it's just that it's sub authority stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And sub authority. So the original intent of that was because the mayors were allowed to create county legislation that only affected their county, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea was that each county, all the officers of each county, should be the professional, most knowledgeable people on their county's legislation.
Yeah.
So if I'm dealing with something in Los Santos County, you typically want an LSPD officer to handle it because they're going to know the nuances about the charges of their county. Like, believe it or not, the traffic laws are different between Blaine County and Los Santos County.
Yeah. I think my concern is, from an oversight perspective, is that this didn't go well before. I don't see it going well again. And
What's that?
if
Oh, them supreme.
jurisdiction, like if upholding this piece of legislation, essentially, it didn't go well before. I don't see it going well again, and I don't want to have to step in and deal with that headache of that big conflict. Like, if we're getting a new sheriff, is this really like the kind of conflict we want them to have to deal with, like off the bat?
Well, that's the thing too. Like in that legislation, it says in the sub-authority definitions, right, is that you
Yeah,
should only defer to the other county in
in
matters
matters.
of conflict.
Yeah.
You don't just immediately defer to the other county. Like if you have if BCSO is the primary officer on on a Los Santos County issue, like an incident, they don't have to hand it over to LSPD. They defer to them if there's conflict, and the intent of that was because if there's conflict or a disagreement about the county legislation and how it affects things.
It does say must defer to LSPD officers in matters of conflict or overlapping jurisdiction.
Yeah,
But what does
and that's
that mean?
like if there's issues with the county legislations. Like for example, if a BCSO officer comes down to Los Angeles County, right, and somebody goes to a complete stop at a red light, but then continues through the red light and treats it like a stop sign. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's illegal to do in Blaine County, but it's legal in Los Angeles County. And so a BCSO officer pulls him over and is like, "Hey, you ran that red." And he was like, "Well, I came to a complete stop." He's like, "Yeah, but you went through it while it was still red. I'm going to write you a failure to stop." Well, that's a conflict. That's a conflict of overlapping jurisdiction. They can be like, "Hey, can I speak to an LSP officer?" LSP officer comes out there because there's a conflict in the overlapping jurisdiction of that, and they go, "Hey, this guy's trying to cite me for failure to stop, but I came to a stop. He even admits it. I just
Why are
rolled through.
these
It was still
different?
red." And they go, "Yeah, that's not
Or
a that,
and
sorry, BCSO. That's not a thing here. We treat red lights like a stop sign. Here's the legislation on it."
yeah, but there's a specific line that says if a crime originates in one jurisdiction and continues into
Mm-hmm.
another. No, not that
Yeah,
line. It's all laws set by the respective county's legislation must be followed regardless of department, depending on where the crime has occurred.
yeah, yeah. But you can still act in good faith. You know, if you're a BCSO and you're acting in good faith, you just didn't know the legislation because you're not you don't. We don't expect everyone to remember all 90 something legislations we have,
No, I
but
know,
you should at
but
least know the legislations of your county. And if there is a conflict where there's a disagreement about it, and you defer to the local county agency to be like, "Hey, what is the real law about this?" And they go, "Oh yeah, this is how it is down here." "Oh shit, okay, well I defer to you on that one."
I thought there was a legislation about it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I just the overlapping part is what's I don't know because there's
Well, the
like
overlap, yeah, it's
I don't know what the intention of that line is really. I'm sure that whoever wrote this had an intention for what that means, but not really
yeah,
spelled
what,
out.
6 months ago?
Yeah,
When they were rapid firing out a bajillion things and made a bunch of weird, silly mistakes.
yeah, like
It happens.
how in the sub authority in Los Santos it says
Hmm.
or overlapping jurisdiction, and then sub authority in Blaine County says and overlapping jurisdiction.
Hmm.
That's a stupid mistake.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like how we're all, what is it? The murder charges were all, there's typos in every single one of them for government employees or something.
really, yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm dreading this happening again because it just fucked up everything. Like we couldn't get help in shift two. You know, from this is from Oshira about capturing Matthew Colby when the police departments are working together. Imagine what's going to happen when
Yeah.
when there's jurisdictional issues.
I mean, if it comes to a point where they're having jurisdictional issues and they're letting their counties fall apart, we're gonna have to be the dicks who step in and be the bad guys.
I know, but what I'm saying, I don't want to have to deal with that. Like, I'd rather
Yeah,
focus
I
on
know you
more
don't.
important things like corrupt cops or cops doing criminal things. You know, that should be a focus, not like babysitting.
Is it not corrupt to let your county fall into disarray and criminal
I mean, if
overrun just because you want to get one over on the other department?
you're doing it for personal means, then yeah, I guess you're right. Oh,
If the manpower's out there to resolve criminal activities and you're refusing to let them assist, I'd say that's a you problem.
yeah. Okay. Other than that, um, I don't know whether you heard. There isn't a report about it, which I wish there was, but Edgar de Castillo's dead.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I had Robin.
No, I didn't hear about this.
There isn't a report about it. This is the issue.
What was autopsy?
Well, this is the problem as well. There's no body.
How do we know he's dead?
According to Robin, it's all lighthouse stuff. That's how he's dead.
Okay, so he's faking his death to get out of consequences.
That's what I'm worried about. We did have a John Doe come in. According to the EMS, he's still alive. But there was a John Doe that came in from the Matthew Colby apprehension at the lighthouse last night. Covered in bones, completely unrecognizable. And they couldn't even take DNA because his skin was so like tough from they couldn't put a needle in the guy. So he had his ID burnt, fingerprints were burnt off, everything was burnt off. He's currently in ICU as far as I'm aware. So that could be Edgar. We don't know, but because Robin came and read basically the guy's last words that he'd written down, where he admitted to a bunch of the murders that happened up at the lighthouse and to do with the lighthouse. And Robin came and, basically said that fucking attorney-client privilege ends when they die, and so that's why he was talking to me. He was open to doing all that. So Robin said his bar license on the line if he's not dead. So he fully believes she's dead.
Yeah, that sounds like a fake death.
That's what I'm worried about.
Put that out there.
Especially because it happened with Aaliyah, and he in his last words he admitted to faking Aaliyah's death, and then killing her afterwards. So yeah, I'm worried about it. So I'm looking into it. But yeah, it was literally all to do with the whole Matthew Colby thing. Can
we kick in Brandon's door?
I told him, what are you referencing? Like anything specific?
Brandon Valentino. He was at this place. He was at this whole Matthew Colby recovery thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's him in the picture.
Yeah.
I recognize him easy as day. I've seen him multiple times, and he's holding a fucking Class 2 rifle. We already have an investigative warrant signed for his property for the 30 days, as well as the lighthouse.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I already got that signed in regards to Oshira's assault. I already made it blatantly obvious to him that we are watching to kind of put him into a panic.
Mm-hmm.
I put one of the cameras dead ass like the most obvious location, just staring straight at his property, just to kind of send a signal that I don't appreciate him attacking a marshal. But we already have a picture of him with a Class 2. We haven't recovered the Class 2. Let's go kick in his door and get the fucking Class 2.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Bruno about it, and the fact that he didn't, nobody got arrested other than Colby. I think the whole PD just tunnel visioned and just went for Colby, which I don't necessarily blame them for, but we've got this evidence.
Not at all. That needs to be the priority.
And I was talking about harboring a fugitive, because Colby was photographed with these guys and they didn't call it in or anything like that.
So they're holding Class 2s to defend him.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yeah, they're getting hack charges.
Yeah.
We should
So
kick that fucker's door in.
I agree. I want to talk to Erin and Oshira about that, and probably have Oshira take lead on that kind of stuff with the charges and everything. I already gave Oshira the 911 that came from Brandon's house, and basically said, "Listen, I want you to take this and do what you think you can with it. You know, hopefully that she goes for a search warrant and stuff like that." But I kind of wanted to, let her figure it out on her own. But along with this, I think we'll have no issues going in there and looking for this stuff.
Mm.
Got like a Tommy gun or something. The other people on scene is Bobby Beltram, and then I think it's Jay Hobbs because we got his DNA. Edgar De Castillo was there in a photo and then was never seen again after that. And then Sonia Summers' blood was found inside too. So,
Fuck, let's kick her door in.
well, by the looks of it, she was a victim of a shooting inside the lighthouse.
Oh yeah, I saw there was something about her and Alec. I didn't know Alec was a doctor.
Neither did
How long
I.
has that been a thing?
Yeah, I had no idea Alec was a doctor.
But she's not a doctor though.
Yeah, you're right. She's not listed as a doctor.
So why the fuck did they put her as an off-duty doctor?
Yeah. Maybe she was an
Who
ex-doctor.
got that fucking info?
I don't know.
I mean, do we have any reports from her? She's not coming up as a potential creator.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, I got my theories about this whole situation, but I'm not going to tell you because it's you'll think I'm crazy, and it's all mumbo jumbo. But this is all
What?
Norman Bone stuff. You see that guy in the photograph?
Yes.
That's Norman
I've
Bones.
seen Norman recently.
You have?
Yeah. When Oshira got shot.
Oh, yeah, and they GSL tested the guy.
Yeah, we GSR tested him and everything. He didn't have a phone, poor guy. He's just an old man trying to live out his life, goddammit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Norman.
He's just a little guy.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Then Rico Barbosh is dead. He's another guy that died last night. Exactly what gang he's tied to, I'm not 100%.
Oh, Hades and West Side Ballas.
Well, there we go.
I talked to Raymond Romanov directly and asked him about it.
Like after the murder?
No, before.
Oh,
like
okay.
2 days ago. Because Rico was claiming to be West Side Vagos, but also Hades. And so I was like, I called Raymond and I was like, hey, I'm just trying to get clarification. Is Rico Hades? Because every time he catches an L, he claims Hades. And every time he catches a W, he claims he's Vagos. And, just to rile him up a little bit.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, no, he's Hades. He's low on the totem pole, like he's nothing. And, I got to chat with him about it. And I was like, just trying to make it. It just seems curious that, every time he catches an L, he's suddenly Hades. And he was like, he's just trying to make something of himself because he's nothing Hades.
Yeah, poor guy. Oh, he's dead now. So.
Yeah, now he's dead. Now he got the biggest L, so I'm sure he died Hades.
Yeah, he died Hades. Died as he lived. Right. In terms of martial stuff, I've had. So, Alex Knight, she's gonna be taken. She doesn't know when she's gonna be back, so we can move her from the roster. That's all good.
Okay.
Nova is gonna come around on Monday and have a chat with us.
Okay.
And then Anderson said he's gonna be back real soon, like this upcoming week.
So you said we can remove Knight?
Remove Knight, yeah. And then Anderson said he's gonna be coming back around more.
Clear.
Have you heard from anybody?
I've heard from Sparks. She's out.
Oh, she's out? Okay.
Yeah. I already cleared her in the system. I need to Message Weiss to remove keys.
Tex, I don't think he's employed anymore. Surely he's been removed at this point. Surely.
Spark. Skylar Sparks. There she is.
Where is he?
Who else is not coming back?
That was it. Just Alex, and then Nova's coming around on Monday, and then Anderson's coming back to work.
Is he though? And what about Scarlett? We haven't heard from Scarlett, huh?
No, I haven't.
All right. When did we send that notice out?
Not sure. It was a few days ago. How do you fucking spell his name?
Where the fuck is
There's
my, roster?
Oh, there he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not
please.
employed anymore.
Load. There we go. Nothing from Lockhart.
Have you not? Really?
I haven't heard anything from Lockhart.
How many days
No,
ago
have
did
you?
we put that announcement out?
I'm looking. It was on the 22nd. No, it's only been 3 days. Okay.
I think we'll give it a week.
we keep it up there for a week. Yeah, we need to keep it up there for a week.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's felt like way longer.
It's been a busy few days. Yeah. So what? Anybody who doesn't reply after the week, we'll just remove them off.
Yeah.
What about that Soze guy? You ever seen him?
Yeah. Well, we should probably rip his keys too.
I've never seen him at all.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have a problem with that. I'll do it.
Astrid, have you heard of Astrid?
I ran into Astrid recently, and Ray Lee.
Yeah. Okay. Clay was around recently, but hasn't said it. So maybe he doesn't. He might think he needs to because he's been around. And Winters, I
Who?
haven't seen. Clay, Alfred Clay.
Oh yeah.
I might reach out to him and just be like, get your ass around.
Problem with Ray is every time he comes on duty, he just ICUs.
What do you mean every time?
Every time I've seen him in the last month, he constantly comes on duty for a couple hours, then ends up in the ICU before the end of his shift, and then I don't see him again for several weeks.
How many times has that happened?
Like the last 3 times he's come on
Oh
duty.
my god!
Yeah, the
You
guy's
can get that
fucking
guy a
accident prone.
bloody like a Michelin man so he can't get injured. Wrap
Fuck
him in
that, we
bloody
need to get rid of
pillows.
him. He's a liability. Our insurance is going to be through the roof.
We don't pay insurance.
You don't pay insurance.
What do you mean? Who pays insurance?
What do you think taxes go to?
Yeah, that's taxes.
It's insurance taxes.
All right. Then meetings. I think we need to start once, obviously, with just the 4 of us, or no. You know what? I don't think we should do it like that. I think we should just have the meeting start, and people turn up. They turn up, and if they start coming around, more people turn up, and then we go from there. I think we just need to start setting some days and times. So I think we have a day where we have a morning meeting for, probably around this time, and then a late meeting, maybe like an hour or 2 after the storm. What do you reckon?
2 meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daytime, nighttime.
That's what were you listening to anything I just said?
Yes, I was agreeing with your thought process.
Of
I'm
course.
just
I
reiterating
see.
it.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so I
You know,
said...
it's always good to repeat what you hear on the radio, so it's confirmation that you understood. You
Yeah,
know, it's like air radio traffic. You know, you ever listen to aircraft traffic?
Yeah,
They
they
always
always
repeat
relay
what they
it.
say.
Yeah, I always do that when I
Yeah.
was dispatcher because it makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking one around this time, one around an hour or two after the storm. Thoughts?
1 or 2 hours after the next storm,
After the next one, yeah.
as the 2 meetings, so they're only like 8 hours apart. Wait,
Yeah.
5 hours apart?
Okay, maybe we do like an hour and a half before now, and then we do one 8 hours after that. Or do you want it to be longer?
Let's see. Well, it's just like, who do we have that's even active around this time? It's just me and you. Like, hell, even Abby usually goes to bed before this.
I
What time is it
mean,
right now? GMT. Right now it's 5:30 GMT. So what if we do 4 o'clock GMT and about 12 midnight GMT?
maybe. If you think that would hit
So
more
that puts it
people.
about. Well, I mean, that's if it's 5:30 now and we do it at 4 o'clock. So that's about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then we do it at midnight GMT. No, how about 2 a.m. GMT? Because that puts it about 2 hours after the next storm.
What are you on about? That's not 2 hours after the next storm.
Yeah, 2 a.m. GMT. If midnight GMT is the next storm.
No, it's not. Donkey.
Isn't it?
It's 6
What the fuck, isn't
p.m.
it?
6 p.m. GMT is the next storm. If it's
I'm looking at the wrong button. Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, it is currently 13:30 GMT.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I was looking at the MDT trying to get the number, and I was looking at the top because it just happened to be one of the report I was looking at was the minutes was exactly the same minute as the current minute. Okay. It is currently 1:30 GMT.
Yeah.
So so I'm thinking about noon GMT for the first storm.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
the first one.
First one, yeah.
And then you said 6 p.m. GMT is the storm?
Yeah.
So then how about 8 p.m. GMT for the next one?
Yeah, it's a great idea, Craig.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeable.
It's a very unique idea. Okay, sounds
glad you have me.
So glad. Okay, that works for me. I think they'll hit, 12 GMT is like early for shift 1, and then it's kind of late for shift 3, so that works. And then the other one could be early for shift 2, but like right in the middle for shift 1. Yeah.
Let's do it on a Wednesday.
Why a Wednesday?
Because Thursdays are notoriously empty, but Wednesdays I'm available.
Okay. I think I'm trying to think if I've got anything on Wednesdays. So. No, I think that should work for me. Tuesdays would be a problem.
You possibly have to do on Wednesdays.
Well, I mean, I can't be here on Tuesday. Actually, I think Tuesdays would. No, I wouldn't be able to be on Tuesdays. Yeah.
I don't really do Tuesdays, so I don't blame you. But I mean, I do Tuesdays, but they're not my best day.
Yeah, I think Wednesdays works, middle of the week.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't available on the weekends and stuff. So, yeah, we'll do middle of the week meetings. Ideally, what I'd want with meetings as well is people giving kind of debriefs on, or I guess it's briefs on their current investigations, so that everyone's in the loop. But brief is the important word, I'm not looking for a slog of info. It's got to be brief. I mean, I'd love if we had like a board, you know, like a presenter board, you know, that people could put shit up on, um, and people could do like stuff like that and give us briefs about what they're looking into, and then obviously, I mean, meetings are meetings. You know, I don't have to describe a meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really want to get into the habit of, you know, field directors being on top of the investigations in their respective shifts. That's kind of what I was trying to do with Abby, but she was very cooked.
Yeah, and
Yesterday.
she's my shift. You lay off my little
Is she?
investigator. Yeah, she's. I mean, I'm the one that suspended her.
What? I'll be honest. This time thing's really fucked me up. I can't
Yeah,
remember
me
what.
too.
What was? Is it 12 to 12 GMT?
When like you started about when you came on duty like an hour ago.
I came on duty 3 hours and 50 minutes ago.
No
Craig,
way.
your
No
sense of
way.
time is fucked up.
My sense of time is super fucked, bro.
Holy fuck!
That's okay. I accept this. Um, yeah, about half an hour after you came on duty should be about when your normal shift starts, right? Which is about when Abigail goes off duty.
Okay, all right, sorted.
Like usually by the time you come on duty, she's pretty fucking cooked.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you just go till whenever, and then I pick up the slack. I like to pick up the shift when all the officers start, like when there's fewer officers on duty.
yeah.
That's always been my like prime zone, which is like the last 3 hours of shift 2 into the first like 6 hours or whatever of shift 1, shift 3,
Yeah. Okay.
and then a little bit before then in shift 2 sometimes, just enough to piss them off and upset all the command in shift 2 by existing.
I don't even know
Apparently,
who the command in Shift 2 is, I'll be honest.
oh, they don't matter. Who even cares? Shift 2 just creates problems. Shift 3 deals with the consequences.
Damn. Yeah, I guess
Story
you're
of our
right.
fucking life.
Right. What am I thinking? What else do we need to get sorted? I think we should make an announcement soon about general. Wait, what the fuck? Sorry.
What?
There's properties down on Mutiny Road that I didn't even know existed.
Oh, you're looking at properties right? Are they
Yeah,
for sale?
no, there's nothing for sale.
God damn it.
Although I might give Bruce Baylor a call because that guy's a fucking.
He will scam the fuck out of you.
Yeah, you might be right, but you know, we'll see. Can't even remember what was I saying.
I don't know, dog.
Just procedure
I
changes,
just work
just
here.
general procedure changes that we're moving towards. You know, I think we should get an announcement of that soon.
Yeah. The thing is, like, procedure is so different between your shift and my shift. Like, my shift, the command, like the county PD command, love us. They want us out there. They're begging for us to come out and help them with scenes and shit like that.
Yeah,
But for some reason, that day shift crew, they just fucking despise us, and I can't stand dealing with them.
I don't care. I don't care what they think.
I know, that's why you're perfect for day shift. That's why you have the day shift.
What the
Because I
fuck?
do
These
care.
buildings
It
would
kind
be
of sucks whenever
sick.
people don't want to cooperate. Like, we're on fucking team, goddammit.
Yeah, but what is there to cooperate about? Like, if we're just going to back up some regular officers and deputies, like,
Yeah,
what
they
is
bitch
there
about
to?
that.
What?
They
How?
fucking bitch about that. They filed a complaint about Oshira for existing, for having a fucking PD number that doesn't have a livery. They were like, you need to get a livery. Like, we don't have a
I thought
livery,
it was a
fuckers.
libel.
Well, that too. But then they want to bitch about the liveries, and they're like, y'all need to have a livery. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I agree with the no livery. But
we can't even get training to know if a car's been tampered with. Either we're gonna get a delivery or a livery.
Yeah.
Have you seen the blue?
Huh?
Have you seen the blue?
What
of the
blue?
cars? The blue cars. Go.
Sheepy, you got
Why are there so many
the back seating, the possible better game. What's going on, Sheepy?
tablets everywhere in this place. People just throw their tablets on the ground all the time.
Gotta be careful, man. But 150 bourbon minus cops, 50 of them at North London City.
I know you're gonna hate it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree to an
exactly a
extent,
big fan
Doc.
of it either, but it's very obvious.
No! No! God, no! This looks like a Lego car! Craig! No! What happened? Okay, what happened to not being the troopers?
I don't want to be the troopers, but what choice do we have? All the other colors are claimed by gangs.
These literally look
can't be
like
black
you could go to like a Target and grab this off the Hot Wheels shelf.
Yes, we are driving fucking Hot Wheels, God damn it!
No! This is no. We can't. This is no. Why? What was wrong with that? The like blue of your shirt that you had.
This is the blue. Well, this is closer to the blue of the shirt, the jacket that I had.
Okay, listen. Have you ever done a colorblind test?
Yes.
Did you pass?
Yes, I passed. I could tell that it was telling me "fuck you."
Okay, that's good. Because
All
this
the little bubbles in the middle.
this is nowhere near your shirt color.
Well, not that I'm wearing. No, it was the jacket I was wearing earlier, like all
yeah,
week,
but that-
because I thought
no.
it was hilarious that it was scuffed as fucking jacket. Because I am pure comedy, Dark. That's my thing. I am the wild card.
Yeah, this is too wild, man. This is. Oh my god! It's
Well, you
like,
know what? It
What?
sticks out. When I showed up in that Cara on a scene to start counter-bullying all the fucking interference cars, they were like, "Oh fuck, it's the Marshall Cara."
Yeah, but the thing that if we just had any color and we started to, as long as it was recognizable as a Marshall color, then anybody would say, "Oh, look, there's a Marshall Cara."
Then what color do you want? Like, what color do you expect? Because it can't be black because that's LSPD. It can't be white or gray because that's BCSO.
Okay,
It can't
BCSO can't claim
Olive green.
gray yet.
Yeah, they claimed it. They already claimed it.
No, we could
It's not
have
happening, Dark.
that gray blue. Okay, that could work. The one that you had on the other car, and then I copied it. I think what we need to do is get some nice colors and go through and take photographs, and then just ask. See, this is decent. This is okay. If we have to have a color of a car, this is pretty good.
High vis yellow.
Great, come on, man.
What?
You sound like a kid
wanna
in
see
like
us coming?
in a hobby craft store, Just trying to pick out the
Look,
brightest
they
color.
should be happy. They should be happy they can see us coming with high vis yellow because usually the only people who get to see me coming pay for it.
Come on, you can't look. I want us to look good and professional, and if we turn up in that thing, people are gonna laugh at us, Craig. They're gonna laugh.
They already laugh at us, Dark. They already laugh at us,
Well,
Dark.
then if we're trying to change that perception, okay, then it's not this, it's this. Like I could see, members of government driving around this color car, and that's good. It's professional, while also standing out.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a different color from blue. I mean, I know we're
I
trying to stick with
agree.
the blue because that's
We
the
could-
foundation. Like we're respecting the foundation of the establishment with Angel and everything like that. But I wouldn't mind departing from blue.
I'm not against departing from blue either. We just got to find a good one.
Well, what good ones do you think?
I don't know. I'd have to go look at what colors are available.
Literally all colors are available. Dark. Literally every color on the spectrum is available. You pick it. Do you want a shorter list? I can give you a shorter
Well, yeah.
list.
I know about every color.
Literally every color.